Today we have with us Dr. Arti Priya, who's a practicing dermatologist in Bangalore for the past 8 years.
One easy thing that I will suggest to my patients who ask me this is to either because of the hormonal changes that occurs because of the stress aspect, total dissolvable solids in the water. So it's again exposure to UV radiation, the humidity, the dust, also the TDS in the water. The intake of raw vegetables and raw fruits has also gone down. Like few people develop the habit of doing it, and they end up, boys especially, trying to cover up their forehead.
After moving to Bangalore, I noticed that my hair and skin were really dry. Today we have with us Dr. Arti Priya, who's a practicing dermatologist in Bangalore for the past 8 years. And we're here to have a conversation on hard water and its effects on our health and well-being. Welcome, doctor.
Hi.
So, like I said, we're going to be talking and discussing about hard water and how it affects our hair and skin in particular. So, how does water that we use for bathing impact our health and hair if it is hard?
So hard water is nothing but it is determined by the amount of calcium and magnesium in it, okay, and these are all mineral buildups in the water. So the harder the water, the higher the concentration of calcium and magnesium. So basically these, when you interact with soap and shampoos, they don't lather up well, okay, rather they form something called as soap scum, and they start to deposit on your skin and hair, causing a lot of dryness induced issue, hair fall because of breakage and frizziness.
Okay, so hair we've discussed. Skin, what effect does it have on one's skin?
So it makes your skin dry. Basically, the soap and your body washes doesn't lather properly, so you end up using a lot of them. So that is going to strip off the natural oil in your skin. Also, these calcium and magnesium tends to deposit on your skin again, depending upon how hard the water is, making them very dry and itchy, flaky.
Okay, and you mentioned the term soap scum. What exactly is that?
So basically, soaps and your shampoos, right? They need to lather up in water, which they usually does in a soft water. In hard water, because of the presence of calcium and magnesium, they don't lather. The soap and the fatty acids just remain, and rather they combine with these minerals to form a scum, which is that squeaky feeling which you feel on your skin after you wash. Exactly, that's what.
Okay. So what exactly is hard water, and like how is it different from soft water?
Yeah, so basically the hardness of the water is determined by the amount of calcium and the magnesium ions in it. So more the calcium ions and the magnesium ions, more harder the water is, which you will determine by in terms of saying it as like TDS, which is the total dissolvable solids in the water. So hard water, it visibly causes a lot of changes in your skin, hair, not just that, in your appliances and everything that you use. So whereas in soft water, it's much more gentle on your skin. It goes along with your skin and your hair pH, causing less damage.
So hair fall concerns have really increased in a lot of metro cities like Bangalore, Delhi, Pune. So can we say that like hard water is a major contributor to this?
Yes. So again, it depends upon what is the reason for hair loss. So there are so many reasons for hair loss. So, and one common thing that I hear from my patients is that ever since I came to Bangalore, my hair starts falling. So which can be partly true if your hair fall is happening basically because of breakage or because of weak hair strands, but many times there could be other confounding things that comes into picture, which hard water might not be a primary cause. So if you are experiencing very dry, frizzy, brittle hair and experiencing a lot of breakage happening, like the thickness coming down, volume coming down, yes, it could be very much because of the hard water.
Okay. The trend of hard water is recently increased. Why do you think that is?
See, especially in metropolitan cities, let's take Bangalore for instance, the groundwater has been constantly going down. It could be either because of a lot of people moving into, the urbanization, a lot of apartments coming up. So the groundwater level has been down, water scarcity was there during the summer. Also, lack of natural, methods of restoring rainwater and other things contribute to, majority of the population depend on, the tanker waters, which are invariably very hard.
Okay, and how can we in our homes identify if our water is hard?
So this is very simple. You can simply, tell by looking into your taps, your shower heads being deposited with that white dots, and also feeling, your skin feeling very dry after you come out of your shower. Your hair is becoming very dry and frizzy. Also, when you try to wash vessels or like wash your hands, again that squeaky feeling which you feel because of the soap scum formation.
Yeah.
There are so many things that you can make out in your, in your house to make sure whether your water is hard or not.
What are those white dots that you mentioned in appliances?
Those are nothing but the calcium and the magnesium salts getting deposited on them with regular use.
Okay. And the chlorine in the water, the excess chlorine that's there, how does that affect our health?
The chlorine that is there, basically when it touches on your skin, it makes it very dry and sensitive. Also the hair makes it very dry. Again, it is more of an external impact that has on your rather than internal, because most of the time we make sure that your drinking water is well balanced and it's not very hard.
So a lot of municipalities, apartments, etc. add chlorine to kill certain bacteria, make the water sanitary, etc. But does that chlorine eventually result in hair fall?
So actually there is some level which is supposed to be like safe, and if they very well exceed the safer levels of chlorine, you start to get that smell and that the sensation of burning or itching on your skin. If you especially you get into pools, you feel that, right? That's only when the chlorine levels are well more than which is standardly accepted. It does cause a lot of issues like burning of your eyes, feeling itching and having an irritated skin.
Do you think that water may be one of the root causes for hair and skin problems?
Yes, definitely, but I wouldn't say it's one of the root causes, but yes, it can trigger or exacerbate various other conditions that's already been present. Because the contact time of water that you're going to come with you is hardly for 5-10 minutes. So that per se wouldn't be the root cause, but yes, it exacerbates various other conditions which you already have on your skin.
So since it's something we can control, we should try to find a better
Yes, definitely. If it is impacting or if it is making your pre-existing condition, let me say you've got dermatitis, you've got already hair fall, so bathing in hard water can make it a little more complicated. So in that case, you can consider by using modalities to reduce the hardness of water, so that it definitely helps you in getting rid of the primary problem faster.
So speaking about topics like dermatitis, can hard water and chlorine increase the skin conditions that already exist? For example, like eczema, psoriasis.
Yes, definitely it does. So in all of these dermatitis, the primary reason is your skin barrier getting disrupted, which is occurring either because of less oil production from your skin or too much oil being stripped out from the skin from external sources. In both the things, your hard water contributes by depositing salt and pH which on the skin, which changes the skin pH. Also because of the soap scum formation, it helps in stripping off the natural oil on your skin. So conditions like dermatitis, psoriasis, eczema tend to get exacerbated, especially if you use hard water for bathing.
So let's say someone switches from hard water to soft water with those modalities that you mentioned. How soon would they be able to see changes?
So with respect to the feel of the water when you bathe, that would almost be instant, again depending upon what sort of modality you actually choose and how much your TDS has changed. With respect to the effects on your skin or the hair getting reversed, it might take somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks to see with regular usage.
For someone who's constantly traveling, they have to bear with different waters every time they're traveling. So what can they possibly do to help?
So one easy thing that I will suggest for my patients who ask me this is to, at least the last rinse for your hair, you can do it with your drinking water. Just carry a little water bottle and just do the last rinse so that you're at least removing the deposits that stay on your skin and your hair. But if you have the luxury of taking a portable showerhead filter, you can do that also. Again, it depends on various factors whether you can use it or not. That can be done for people who travel frequently.
So can someone end up developing serious skin conditions if they constantly use hard water?
Yes, I wouldn't say like serious, but again, eczema and dermatitis are something which can be exacerbated or can be like come for the first time for you if you've been constantly exposed to hard water. Let me say, like you're washing vessels constantly,
Yeah.
washing clothes, then yes, there are chances of you developing, dryness and eczema patches in your hands and feet. But in a routine use, I don't see any serious skin condition developing per se, only because of hard water.
Okay. How can we reduce the impact of these impurities, these TDS in the water? How can we reduce that impact on our skin and health?
So, again, it depends upon the TDS of your water. If your TDS is like, very high, you can either choose for going in for water softeners. The centralized water softener works the best, but many don't have the luxury of doing it. In that cases, you can go for the shower head water softeners, or you can go for these, the mini units which you can keep in your bathroom. If not, you can just simply choose to wash your, last rinse with RO water. Boiling of water to a certain extent reduces the TDS. Again, if it is very high, it doesn't work. But yeah, mild to moderate, high in TDS water, boiling will help in reducing the TDS.
Okay, you mentioned washing utensils with hard water. So, washing utensils, hard water and soft water, is there like a difference in the utensils?
Yeah, again, the hard water causes, aesthetically it is not good, doesn't look good. There's a lot of white spots and everything that stays on your vessels, your crockery and everything. Also, the wear and tear increases your crockery and your glass items, like they tend to lose their shine and everything on due course.
Yeah. What would you suggest as like a general hair wash routine for someone who is suffering from hair loss already?
So people, especially who have hair loss, they are very paranoid about washing it, because every time they wash, they see a lot of hair coming out. But actually, the hair that is falling during your hair wash is the dead hair, which is not attached to the roots, which is invariably going to fall. Either you choose to wash once a week, you see like 100 hairs. You wash every alternate days, there'll be 30 to 40 hairs. So hair washing per se will not increase your hair fall. So I would rather stress on the importance of having a clean scalp to promote the hair growth and to solve the issue. So washing it every other day is good. 2 days one is okay, but not more than that with respect to how much you are exposed to the pollution and everything. So twice a week is okay. It's good to be done. Alternate days is good. Also, every day is very well for persons who are very oily and very greasy scalp. They can also choose to wash their hair every day.
Also, someone with like a very active lifestyle.
Correct, like sweating frequently, traveling frequently, washing it every day is also good.
So what about someone who's not suffering from hair loss but like doesn't want to end up in that situation? What kind of hair care routine can they follow?
Choose washing your hair at least twice a week. Be very cautious on choosing what shampoo do you want to choose. Don't go for something with too much of chemicals, and you get parabens and sulfate free shampoos these days which you can choose to use. And have an healthy lifestyle, that's all.
So hair conditioners, should you be conditioning your hair every time you're washing your hair?
So yes, definitely you should choose to condition your hair every time you wash it, because once your hair comes in contact with water, there is some sort of chemical reaction that goes which causes your cuticles to fray up. So you need to seal it back, especially if you're bathing in hard water or if you're in a place which is very humid and there's a lot of pollution. Your cuticles has to be sealed back. That's what conditioner basically does, by sealing in the cuticles. And if you don't do it, then you end up having very dry, frizzy, unmanageable hair.
Let's say someone is already suffering from hair loss and they are under a treatment where they're using like minoxidil, serums. What kind of impact will hard water have on that?
So these hard water, they tend to deposit the salts on your scalp, and if you're not using the right shampoo to wash it, or the salts deposition is more, so they tend to dry the scalp and make it very flaky. You might have a lot of irritation when you use, like especially minoxidil. It irritates your scalp because your scalp is already dry and flaky because of the salt deposits over there. Also, partly it seals it clogs your pores and clogs the follicles, and this is in a very severe stage where it impacts your hair growth and the treatment response as well.
So it like doesn't allow the product to enter your scalp?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. What kind of home remedies can be used to rectify hard water?
Okay, so basically hard water has a lot of pH, like to be more specific, a pH of more than 5.5 causes the hairs to swell up. So when these hairs swell up, there's a lot of metal ions going inside the hair that is causing the hair to weaken up, the structure of the hair to weaken up, and you end up having hair fall due to breakage and frizziness and etc. So you can counteract this by doing some home remedies. One is like boiling of water. If your TDS of the water is not very high, simple boiling and using boiled cooled water will help in reducing the hardness of the water. Secondly, you can choose to use apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar, you can dilute 1 part with 2 parts of water, and you can use it as your last rinse. So the acid environment again helps the swelled up hair to to reduce, and also it draws out the metal ions from the hairs. And the same goes with lemon juice, the same acid thing, and by using hair masks with curd and lemon, which has like the lactic acid and the ascorbic acid, works by the same way of removing the ion deposits on your hair.
So hair loss, I think you must have seen, has really increased in Bangalore. I don't know, metro cities in general, I'm assuming. What do you think? What is the reason behind this?
So the most common reason I see for hair loss, especially in metropolitan city, especially in working person, is either because of the hormonal changes that occurs because of the stress aspect, nutrition aspect, lack of sleep, and very rarely it is because of other things like water, the place they are and everything. It's mostly an hormonal mediated hair loss is what I've been seeing in adolescents, even adolescents,
But there are like internal and external factors to it. So internal would be all hormone, etc. And external would be stuff like water,
the pollution, the kind of the humidity in the place you are, the kind of water you use, the kind of products you use, also styling products, damage like hair straightening, perming, keratin treatment, coloring. There are so many things that again changes the integrity of your hair strength, which might cause hair fall because of breakage and all.
So a lot of people use hair styling products. They use straighteners, curlers, they use gels, etc. So how does this impact like the hair health?
So again, it basically weakens your hair shaft. So many people don't even know there's a concept of like hair protecting spray or serums which they need to use before using such products, and also using cheap products that doesn't filter out the heat. They like giving a lot of temperature at a time to your hair. There are so many China make products that's coming up which are not actually built to be safe on your hair shaft. They again fracture your hair shaft. They break the collagens, the disulfide bonds, and making them very brittle and easy to break.
And hair colors, people who use hair colors, do they need to follow a different hair care routine because it's already a bit damaged?
Yes, definitely. So people who have colored your hairs or who have bleached their hairs or treated their hairs, so you need to definitely take it, going for personalized products which respect your shampoo and your conditioner, meant specifically for dry and damaged hair. So by doing that, you will reduce the way you will make your hair look better. Else it looks very dry, dull, frizzy, like probably a couple of weeks post hair color. Because of that color, it looks good. Once the color tends to wash off, the hairs look very brittle and fragile.
And dandruff, a common concern for everyone. Does that like exacerbate because of the hard water that's there?
Yes. So there are different causes of dandruff. One is actually dandruff that is occurring because of either increased oil production in your scalp, being further more infected with fungal, causing your seborrheic dermatitis. So in that particular case, your shampoos and other things which you use to wash your hair doesn't lather up well in hard water. So there'll be a lot of traces that is left back, which will again further exacerbate the dandruff. So there is another condition called as sebopsoriasis. That is something that happens because of lot of dry and flaky skin in your scalp, which looks very different. They are like they are flyovers like everywhere, white scales falling on their dress. In that case also, hard water will exacerbate by making the scalp more dry.
Like all those ads where there's like dandruff on the shoulder. How does pollution impact one's hair health?
So it's again exposure to UV radiation, the humidity, the dust, also the TDS in the water. They all make your hairs very brittle and fragile. causing them to fall and break more often. Also, they don't allow you to have a healthy scalp. They clog up the pores, which again impacts your hair regrowth process.
Okay. And like nutrition is a key factor in one's hair and skin, overall health. So what lack of nutrition is causing all these hair problems nowadays?
I would say with increase in processed food and junk food, there is a total compromise in taking the right amount of protein in your diet. Okay, you end up taking a lot of carbs, and that gives you very much of satiety level. You don't take protein at all. The amount of protein is very less in your diet, and also intake of raw vegetables and raw fruits has also gone down because of these processed food that comes up that makes your satiety level attain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can irritation from hard water cause infections?
Yes, indirectly it can cause, especially sensitive areas like your thigh side, your underarms, and your under your breast area, where the skin is very, thin and sensitive. Hard water tends to dry it more, and damaged skin barrier gives way for fungal and other infections to grow if you're not cleaning it properly.
Okay.
So yes.
Does hard water like strip away protein and hydration from your hair?
It doesn't exactly strip away protein, but yes, there is a lot of chemical oxidation that goes in your hair that breaks the disulfide bonds. To be more specific, it makes your hair a little brittle, and it tends to look very dry because the hydration is not there.
So it makes it weaker. So if anything pulls,
it fractures your hair, so it easily breaks.
Okay, so it's like there are a lot of guys who are constantly touching their hair, pulling their hair, setting their hair. Is it good to be like putting your hands in your hair that often?
I wouldn't suggest or something like that. Like few people develop the habit of doing it, and they end up doing a lot of traction to the hair. Like, the traction many times, if it is a very repetitive thing, it can make your follicles weak in that particular area, making you lose hair.
Okay.
Also, I've seen many, boys especially trying to cover up their forehead. Like if they have a large forehead, they tend to pull their hair like this and cover up. That makes them prone for getting acne on their forehead because of that hair, the oil, everything constantly covering up the skin. The humidity and the sweat accumulates over there, makes their oil glands clogged up. So
Does hard water have any impact on cleaning like the intimate parts of our bodies?
They don't have any impact as such. For few people who already have very dry skin, it can make them more prone for eczema and dermatitis, which can be super infected with fungus, making them more prone for fungal infections.
Thank you, doctor, for joining us today and having this amazing and insightful talk with us. We're very happy to have you and very grateful for this conversation.
Thank you.